Welcome to XperiaGamer.com. This week in the post we received a new free mobile wireless controller from SteelSeries. This is a universal Bluetooth gamepad for PCs, Macs, iPads and iPhones, but most importantly Android smartphones and tablets. So we thought we'd give it a little test drive and do a little video to show you what it's all about. Now there's a lot of Bluetooth gamepads on the market and coming soon definitely. Now this is definitely one of the smallest we have seen. The build quality is very nice and it's very well spaced out buttons, and of course it resembles the actual PlayStation pads themselves. Now I know the size might not be to everyone's taste, but obviously a gamepad for your smartphone or tablet does have to be portable and compact, and I think this really ticks the boxes in that department. The trigger buttons are not compromised. You can see they meet all the way into the middle. You've got your dual analog, your action buttons, and of course D-pad too. So let's see what else is inside the box. You get this little travel pouch which keeps everything nice and neat. You'll also get your charger as well as all the usual paperwork. The charger cable is micro USB, so it'll be the same as most likely your smartphone. So instead of start and select, you have your A and B. Now the A button is the button for pairing and to get into pair mode. So just push and hold the A button to get into pair mode and it should pair with your device straight away. I didn't have any issues, but if you do, you'll find SteelSeries engine is available from the Play Market store. You can test your buttons with these indicators and you can actually manually configure the inputs of every single button on your gamepad. Now anyway, enough of that, let's show you how it works with the games. So to start you off, I'm going to show you Riptide GP. Now not only is this a visually spectacular game, but it's also one of the games that you do need to do a little bit of key mapping yourself. So if you go into the controller settings, you'll find this option. So for example, this game, select throttle, select the button, brake, the button, and then of course boost, and then you're ready to play. Riptide, if you haven't played it before, is an incredibly unique game. I mean, there's not a lot of jet ski racers out there on any games console device, and the arcade action of this game is fantastic. It's absolutely spot on. Graphically, amazing, already said that, and you've got some great moves as well. Definitely worth giving this a try. Now in terms of analog support, there are a few other games. One of them being Grand Theft Auto 3. I'm sure this game doesn't need any introduction, but Rockstar Games have been brilliant with supporting USB gamepads and of course the Xperia Play. So this game out of the box will be ready. You won't need to do any touching up. And the same with Max Payne as well. So any of their games, and hopefully in the future too, will comply with this gamepad setup. So as you can see, all the buttons work fantastically. And if any of you haven't discovered this experience yet before, it is just like using your old console. Those PS2 days are back, and of course they are on your smartphone. Next is Dead Trigger. Now this game is a fantastic first-person zombie shooter. If you haven't heard of this game, I'm assuming you've been living under a rock for the past year. This is definitely one of the hottest titles on Android. Now for a first-person shooter, just like your Call of Duty or Battlefield, this game is it gives you that same experience, and with the dual analog you've got aim, fire, running around, and it's absolutely spot on. Even though the dual analog sticks are quite small, you would have thought it'd be fiddly, but it isn't. And even on my Xperia T, it runs absolutely fine. Now the real black mark for compatibility with these kind of gamepads is that some of the best and top developers on Android do not support them, such as Gameloft, EA and Glue Mobile. Despite their continued support for the Xperia Play, they just don't have the button configurations in the menus and it just doesn't work, which is such a shame. But this isn't SteelSeries' fault. You can always rely on your emulators though. Everything from your N64, PlayStation, right down to Commodore and Atari. All good emulators for Android support key mapping. So whatever gamepad you're using, you can assign all of the buttons and inputs to what you want. And some of the more recent ones will even include analog support as well. So the SteelSeries 3 gamepad is beautifully compact. It's definitely the optional controller that I recommend to those who do a lot of traveling. Keep it handy, it won't take up a lot of space, and it is definitely functional. It doesn't compromise anything with its size. The only big downside really is compatibility with games. It's just a shame that big developers like EA and Gameloft are not supporting this gamepad input, especially when they're all about making better video games. So to finish up on a positive, I'm sure you've already thought of this, but if you haven't, don't forget most smartphones and tablets have HDMI as well, so you can continue that amazing gaming experience when you get home. And of course, the free SteelSeries gamepad will add to that functionality. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.